Hello, fellow St. Leo Lions. Dr. Stan Reilly here, and welcome to this term of organizational behavior here at our fine university. I wanted to uh, record this very brief video, and I promise my best I'll keep it as brief as possible, to to basically, I'm looking down at my screen to make sure that it's recording properly. So hopefully it is. But anyway, hello and welcome. Welcome to our class and our time together. I am really looking forward to working with each of you in organizational behavior and taking a really good look at the at how our businesses are changing in our dynamic society and economy and global stage, and how elements of the macro environment, such as the politics, big time, right, and all the changing social norms and the changing economy and technology. And let's see, all of the other variables that are macro or externally shaping how businesses perform and can perform and do so effectively, successfully, and hopefully lucratively, so that they can earn a return on their investment as well as perform ethically and sustainably, which is an environmental element, which is another part of the macro environment. Okay, so those elements are constantly bombarding on the doors of businesses to work through challenges and changes and so many different issues that they don't necessarily bring on themselves because they have their own micro environment that they have to manage from within, right? So what we're going to be doing together is throughout this term is examining businesses and looking more deeply into them through the technique of the case study. And I know many of you have probably worked on case studies before in the past, but I wanted to give you a little bit of background and personality, I guess, as far as from what I'm looking for from you, and so that we'll all be on the same page moving forward. Now, when you do your case studies, yes, you're going to need to research the company. Yes, you'll really need to do some provide some external sources to support what you are arguing or communicating, I guess is a better word. Arguing is that academic term, you're arguing a case or, a legal situation. But what you would communicate and share, have your external sources to support your claims. But what I want you to do at this level, this is graduate school, please make sure that you insert always your perspective as to what you think as the researcher and how strategically the case study revealed this, but you would think this if it's a counter, or you concur with this if you agree, and then explain why. Because again, what I'm looking for is not just an insert sort of research kind of a demonstration, but put you into it as well, and a good portion of that. All right. Now, that's not to say that you don't use your sources, and you must use your sources to comply with the criteria for the assignment, and you'll see what that is. Or those are as you review the rubric and read the instructions. All that's in the syllabus and is also built into the course shell. All right. But that being said, my doctoral studies was leadership and organizational behavior. So I really am interested in this aspect of business culture, and particularly the ethics and the sustainability that businesses must balance with that of creating profit. so one has to well, I say balance, and that's really what they have to try to do. Sometimes it skews more one way than the other. Typically, it skews more toward profitability, and that has all kinds of ripple effects with regard to human talent satisfaction and perception in the community, and whether or not this is the kind of place an employee would want to work, and does it attract the best employees to the company. And anyway, we'll be talking about all of those things, variables, a better word, as we progress ahead in the weeks ahead. But well, again, and that was just a quick overview and an emphasis that, yes, I want these assignments to be research, but I may not be like all professors, but I do want it to have. I want to feel like you are contributing to your own research, and that you are providing your expertise as a graduate student, and what you would perhaps do if you were the CEO of a company and having to make a decision based on certain variables. So anyway, I think I've made that point, and I don't want to belabor it. So moving on, our discussion forums are very important. And I do want you to engage lively each week in our discussion forums, okay? And remember that your first posting is due by each Thursday evening, and your follow-up postings, at least 2, are due by Sunday evening. And of course, you can post as many times as you like and earlier than Thursday, but that's the minimum criteria. And again, that's worth 15% of your total course grade. Also, in your case studies, and there are 3 of them, that's worth 45% of your course grade. So make sure that you go into doc sharing, and that you and I will continue to build information into the course and into doc sharing, and provide examples of this and that and links to this and that. And I encourage you to, I know you're busy and you have other things to do, but I do encourage you to review as many of these templates and links and spreadsheets and examples that I provide, so that you'll have them at your disposal to grow from these examples, and to maybe there's something you want to save and use in a future course. All right, you may have me again. Who knows? But with that being said, those 3 case studies are 45% of your course grade. So you've got your discussions, you've got your case studies. Now, with regard to the case studies, once again, go ahead and begin practicing using data charts to show your data as well. Remember, business people are visual learners. And writing out well is very important, and writing using good APA technique. And, no plagiarism, you know what I mean? No copy paste. If you're going to borrow a passage, put quote marks around it. If it's a direct quote, and always cite and include the page number for direct quotes. If it's just an idea that you're borrowing, again, always give the source the credit for that. But if it's not a direct quote, you don't need to put quote marks around it. But always begin with the title page. Always restate the question before responding, and always provide a reference list at the end on a separate page. All right, use the format that you probably know already so well, but these are formal assignments that need to be constructed as such and at graduate school level. And again, use data charts to show any information that you want. Pie charts, histogram, line charts, tables, graphs, whatever, to help support what you're communicating. But don't just put up a chart without explaining it, because you can't ever assume that your reader knows what they're viewing. Okay, so and then when you write everything out, chances are in the real world business environment, that professionals tend to not want to sit there and read lots and lots of verbiage. They like to look at the information and make it as clear as possible. But if they don't quite get it, having some kind of an explanation explaining the data chart is important. Excuse me, as well. And they should be lined up together, the chart and the verbiage, or the verbiage and the chart, however you choose to do it, okay? But I'm going to provide you, I did provide you with templates and all these tools that will help you to build data charts. And of course, Excel is available to you through St. Leo, so that you can build these charts using that program as well. And then lastly, you have 2 exams. Yeah, sorry, tests. And they're timed, and each of the exams are 20% of your course grade. So so that's a total of 40%. So you've got 15% discussions, 45% for your case studies, and then your 2 exams. So make sure that whenever you go to take your exams, you complete them in one sitting. All right. And because you can't really start and then go back, but it's an open book, open internet, and you know, you should do just fine. And the ebook is built into the course as well, so you can have several screens open as you're taking your exam. But be sure to save your answers. Check the clock as it times out, and make sure that you do not lose your time frame allocated for that particular question, or it will advance to the next question, and then you can't go back. All right. That's happened to me, so I just wanted to give you some warning, some heads up on that. But go to a quiet place and prepare to you know, spend some time to complete your exams, because they do carry a significant amount of point value for the course. But again, look through the course shell completely. Look at the materials that I've provided for you as examples. And again, I will continue to build up onto this and participate in our discussion forums. And just, excuse me, as you would do in your case studies, in the discussion forums, research, yes, but in your follow-ups, share with us your own ideas and experiences and views on the discussion, because this is what it's like. Let's make this feel like a real, it is a real classroom, but like a live classroom where we're having a dialogue with each other. And if you're communicating with me or with a classmate, you wouldn't stand up and cite and read from a textbook if you're responding to a classmate. Rather, you would say, well, you know, at work today that happened to me, and let me tell you why I think it shouldn't have happened, or how my boss intervened, and how the organization or how my business handled the situation, and what kind of policies we have in place, and what kind of policies we need, you know, to put in place in order to avoid these situations from happening again. So, but anyway, there's lots of things that we're going to be talking about in a very short amount of time. But it's kind of the nature of grad school is to move through it pretty quickly. By the